to another very special edition of the Prep Zone on DMV Stream. I'm John Moore, joined as always by Rob Giampapa. We're Rebel Run Sports. Today we have a very special guest in the house, Coach Anthony Mills, Battlefield Girls Basketball.
How y'all doing?
Welcome to the studio.
All right.
Coach, great season. You guys got off to a blistering start. And then obviously if you don't win, it's a little disappointing at the end.
Yeah.
Kind of walk us through the season, how it went, things you were proud of.
The season went very well. We finished 22-4. We started out great. I think we was on 11 and we were 11-0 entering the Christmas tournament. Lost our first one in the second round of the Christmas tournament. From there, we won all the way out until we lost to OP. We lost to OP in the conference game. Didn't lose again until the conference championship. And then we lost in the second round of the region. So overall, it was actually a fantastic season. With it being my third year, we accomplished a lot. We had our first time in regionals, making it to the second round. It also was our first time us ever being a regular season champs since the school's been open. We set the best record in girls basketball at Battlefield with 22-4. So overall, I think the big thing we wanted to do was win the state. We didn't, but we did a lot this year, and I'm returning 10 girls from that 12-man roster that I had. So, overall, I think we had a fantastic year with a lot more to come.
Okay. Well, you just said you were turning 10. Let's talk a little bit about your two seniors that you had graduating, Taylor Baltimore and Nikki Dyson. Talk a little bit about them this year and how much they meant to that team.
They meant everything. They were there my first year. They were sophomores then. Taylor and Nikki, I just can't say Taylor and Nikki were the backbone of that team, right along with those juniors. The thing that I like about them is Taylor went out with an injury. Nikki was injured. And you may say, what is the good thing about that? That allows your younger girls to grow up. And with those injuries, that's what they did. That's what I think a lot of our success came from. But when they got the opportunity to get back on the court, they led with leadership, not just scoring on and off the court. They really made everything gel for us offensively and defensively. I think one of our stats that we were proud of is that we held teams to like 41 points a game. But that's because of their leadership, their energy, their effort, their talking, and all their communication.
Coach, you see so many times during the signing day press conference, you see obviously the player who's signing to college, and you see their parents.
Right.
But what's the feeling from a coach? You played a huge role in her getting to where she got. Talk about that a little bit.
I think my number one goal was, and I tell my assistant coaches this all the time too, is we want to win, and that's why you're put on the given the coaching job is to win. But I judge my success off how many girls go to college. So that moment at the end of the year is huge. And I'll tell you a quick story. After we lost to Herndon in the regional semifinals, not in the region, in the second round of the regionals. That I was down, the whole team was down, and that may be around 11:30, almost 12 o'clock. Taylor called me and said, "Coach, I got my first offer from Concord." Now, that doesn't replace the loss,
sure.
But it makes you feel good. It kind of softens the blow. So it made me feel very good as a coach, and then it put everything back in perspective. Like, this is why you're doing it, to make sure that every kid that come across that put on that Battlefield uniform goes to the next level. So to be able to see her sign that paper, and then not only that, to know that she tore her Achilles in June, and to come back and they be able to get that offer and a full scholarship at that, that was my most proud moment so far at Battlefield.
Awesome.
Well, you were talking about their leadership. What are their best traits? What's Taylor's best trait as a leader on the court?
I think she talks. She talks a lot, and she talks in practice. So it starts in practice. Her best thing is that she talks. She's all nonstop communication. She's putting girls in their place. She's making sure everybody's working hard. With Nikki, it's just how she works extremely hard. She never complains, not complaining about a foul call. So that, right, to have your seniors being able to sit out here and do that, that means a lot, because now the younger girls are looking at them like, we're not worried about a phone. We're not worried about a foul call. We're just going to play basketball. So that leadership that they have is just fantastic, and we're going to miss that. but we have girls up and ready to step into that place. And I can tell you, and I say this, that the college coach that is getting Taylor and that is getting Nikki Dyson, they're going to have two fantastic girls.
Well, since you said something about it, let's talk about those juniors. We know you got Marley McLaughlin coming back. Both the Harringtons are coming back. Aaliyah Moon's coming back.
Aaliyah Moon's coming back. That's and when I first got there, I got rid of some of the dead weight, like I was telling you guys. Just girls that wasn't really committed to basketball. And I went in there and I picked 5 freshmen to go along with, at the time, Misha Jones, Alicia Diggs, Taylor Baltimore, and Nikki Dyson. And to see those girls develop and become what they've become this year says a lot for the program and says a lot with where we're going to go next year. Like I tell them, we can't go backwards. We have to go up. There's not a choice. But, you know, you guys had the opportunity to see those girls play. I mean, they play extremely hard. They're going to mean a lot to us this year. Leah Moon did a fantastic job coming off the bench. And being able to accept that role is great. Knowing that, and I told her this at the banquet, like I put you in at the end of the game, I bring you in off the bench because I know you are one of the few that can come in the game and score 15. And to get 15 points coming off the bench, that's hard. The Twins, they bring a lot of length to us. They're long, they're athletic, they rebound the ball very well. And then with Marley McLaughlin, she brings everything. She goes hard. You know, if you guys have caught a game, you see her slapping the floor. She brings a lot of energy, and I think that gels very well, and that also sets an example for the sophomores that we have. So for them coming back next year is very important for us. That's going to set the tone for us from, you know, first day of practice, that they're going to be ready to go. They have the experience, so hoping that the taste that we have left in our mouth from losing in the second round of regional will lead them to do something even more better next year.
Coach, the guys' side, Coach Bills, they had a successful year too. Is there kind of a friendly rivalry involved with the coaches, or is there an encouragement from the girls and the guys when they're both doing so well as the season goes on? Do you see any of that?
Yeah, well, me and Coach Bills talk a lot. We're always texting. I'll call them, and it's pushing one another. I know after we won our first round in the region, I walked by the bench and said, "It's your turn now. You know, you gotta get there. Or if not, I'm gonna be going on my own." So we're always pushing one another. The thing that I like about him is, you know, he's inviting the girls to come work out. I invite his boys to come work out because I need my girls to play versus, you know, tough competition. And then sometimes I can give a different perspective for his boys about the game of basketball. So it's a rival to be successful. And we, like I said, we texting, we calling, and it's just more of just we want to see each other do well, be successful.
Well, talking about you played, now coaching girls. What's the biggest difference in the game for you as a player versus as a coach?
The biggest difference when I came in was, and I'll say this is going back to when I started at Woodbridge High School as an assistant, is you want the kids to play like you. You know, play as hard as you did, get after it, get on the floor, and you have to realize that you have to teach those kids that. It's just not going to happen. So I think it's the teaching part which was different. Now you realize why your head coach got on you. Why is he telling you to run? Why is he telling you to get back on defense? Why is he telling you to focus? So that was the biggest thing, is just the teaching and seeing if I can challenge them to play with a lot of energy and a lot of effort. That was the biggest thing.
We hear a lot about what the players do in the off season to get better. As a coach, what do you do in the off season to get better? Are you studying other coaches? Are you?
Soon as the season ends, and it's throughout the year too. With me, like you said, I'm going to clinics. I'm going to watch. I spend a lot of time in front of the TV, watching the NCAA, watching NBA. I spend a lot of time on YouTube because you can learn a lot on YouTube. You know, it's all types of clips and coaching clinics. I try to get opportunity, if I have the opportunity, to get out and go to maybe a few workouts that coaches may be having. But it's nonstop for me. You know, if we're not working out, I'm trying to find some way to better not just myself, but also to better your program. Like I said, we're coming off a 22-game win season, I'm expecting to do better. So I have to study. I have to figure out how I'm gonna push Marley, how I'm gonna push the twins, how I'm gonna push Aaliyah. So it's nonstop. I'll read about basketball. Anything basketball related. I'll try to get in front of anything. Book, a magazine, a computer, just to because you can never know enough. You can always learn something from somebody. So.
Well, do you have, like, talking about, reading and watching as much as you can about basketball, do you have a particular philosophy, or does it kind of change year to year depending on who you have on the team?
You come in with one,
Okay.
you come in with one, to get the job, you got to have something. But I think it changes with who you have. If you stick to one philosophy all year, each year, it's going to be hard to be successful. Because your talent changes. I know with us, we're losing Nikki. That's big. We're losing our starting point guard, so that's big. So we have to change how we're going to do things next year. One thing that won't change is the defense. We're going to continue to pressure. So my philosophy changes on a regular basis. Like I said, at the beginning of the practice, I was thinking we're going to do one thing, and then turn around by the middle of the year, we're changing it to do something else. So I think your philosophy has to change based on your talent. Like I said, you may want to do this, but if you don't have the kids to do it, or the skill, the kids that have the skill set to do it, then you can't do it.
Like you said, 22-4. So a byproduct of success is having these lofty expectations. For
Right.
year. Are you thinking to temper expectations, or are you full on? You don't ever want to be in the championship or bust kind of mindset,
Right.
But what are the expectations for next year?
My expectations for them, because I want them thinking one thing and one thing only. The first thing is to win the state championship. I think you have to set the goal high. You have to set the mark high, because if you don't, they're going to settle for just being average, or just getting 2 regionals. So I think that's the first expectation that we have. Now, does it happen every year? No, it doesn't. But I set the mark high for them. But my expectation is just for them to get out, play hard, work their tails off. Don't be outworked. And I know if you do that for 4 quarters, then you can be successful.
Who are some other coaches in the area that you like to look at, that you respect as coach? Well, obviously you respect
Right.
everybody, but who do you like to look at and see what they're doing?
The biggest coach I would say would be who would be a coach that I like to look at? It would be I would say Coach Honore. Coach Honore is a great guy. He was my JV coach when I was at Potomac.
Okay.
I never got it. Well, I played for him when he came up, but he was never actually my head coach. But he's one that I'd always can call. Kendall Hayes, who was my head coach, that's one guy that I like to look. But I kind of catch a little bit of everybody. I'm always at a game. I'm always seeing what teams do different, or what can we add to us. So I think every coach in the area gives a little bit of something that you can use, and it's something a little bit different. Coach Honore has just been the one that I always call. He's coached me through AAU. He's coached me, like I said, a little bit in high school. So he's always been the one that I can call and say, hey, man, this is what's going on. And I actually, if I'm correct, I called him before this year and said, man, look, I'm returning 12 girls. They know everything. It's not a lot to put in. What do I do? How do I go about it? Because the year before, he returned a bunch of kids that state run they made when they had Randy Haynes. So just being able, just being able to call him and ask him those type of questions. But yeah, he's the one that I usually call.
He's a good one to pick.
Yeah, he's a good one. Yeah, he's.
My last question is unrelated to high school basketball. Rob and I had a conversation a couple weeks ago talking about the NCAA tournament.
Right.
And Connecticut's lady basketball team. You think that kind of dominance is good for college basketball, or there's so many different opinions on it? But I'd like to get an opinion of another coach.
It depends on how you look at it. If obviously if you're UConn, then you're fine. If you're the other schools, then you're upset too. I look at it as if you want to if you want the national championship and you want to win it, then you need to go find out what Gino's doing to be there. Don't complain about it. That's that man's success. Maybe you need to give him a phone call. That's what I tell people. Give him a phone call, find out what's going on.
Yeah.
Because 11 national championships, that's history. That's hard to do. But instead of being upset about it, go out and do something about it. You can't. I really wouldn't. I really can't say. I don't think it's bad. I just think it's you have a team that's going out there, have a goal, has a mindset, has a job to do, and they're taking care of business. Now, is it easy when you got studs and All-Americans? Yeah, it makes it a lot easier. But, I think just don't complain about it. You just got to get out there and recruit and do what you have to do to get yourself on that level.
I got 2 more things for you.
Uh-huh.
One, who is the best player you saw in the area this year that wasn't on Battlefield?
Girls. Best player that wasn't on Battlefield. That's a tough one. I really like over Fall League. There was a girl that played for Oakton. She's probably like she's a post. She's like number 44. She can shoot it inside out. Yeah, she was one girl that I seen. She played in our Fall League. We host a Fall League every year, so she was one that I seen, and her attitude. I mean, I remember one time she came down and I was keeping the score, and she said, "Yeah, these girls can't stop me." And just to have that attitude and that passion in girls basketball, I was like, man, I'm gonna get up and I just want to watch the game because I need to see exactly what's going on. I can't keep this going and really see what's going on. But she's one that I've seen that can get it done. And I think she's only a junior, so she has 1 more year, so she can flat out get it done. That's one that I've seen. And Genesis Parker is a good basketball player too. She did very well this year. She did very well the year before. So, and then Woodbridge has a girl, Asia McCants. She plays hard. We played them maybe like the 4th or 5th game of the season. She gets it done inside, outside. And then Ashley White over at OP. She's another girl that gets it done too.
Last thing I got for you. Battlefield student section. You're hard pressed to find a better student section than that.
Oh yeah.
How much does that help you? How much does that inspire the girls? What does that do for everybody?
It inspires everybody. And I'll go on record and say this, that we get like the halftime of our games because it's girls basketball. But one thing I've taught my girls is that we got to bring the energy. And then when they get there, that student section is just like, it's fantastic. They're standing up the whole time. They may have a blackout, they may have a whiteout, they're chanting, they may have your face. So to have a student section like that, bring that type of energy to a game, it just motivates and it fuels the team. It fuels the coach. Like it's hard to get students to come out to games. So when you have a good school like Battlefield is, and you got the student section to come out and cheer and chant and give it their all as if they're playing, you can't beat that. You can't beat that at all. So it's nice to have that student section because there's a lot of schools that don't have that section at all. So it's very nice to have that, man. It really is.
Well, Coach, thanks for joining us. Congratulations again on the successful
Appreciate
season.
it. I appreciate
We're looking
it.
forward to coming out and seeing you guys next season.
Man, we look forward to having you guys.
And thanks for joining us on DMV Stream. I'm John. This is Rob. You can see us at RubberRunSports.com. See you next week.